Party MP for the very party you are all standing in. She says, "Dear Sussex Friends of Israel, I thought we got rid of you when I managed to get EcoStream closed down. Personally, I think Western Road looks much better with another empty shop in it. I'm trying to get rid of Marks and Spencer's, Robert Dyer's, Waitrose, H&M and Tesco's now. See, this is the last time our paths will cross because I'm going to lose the election. I just wanted to say, no hard feelings and please pick up all the litter after you. Got to come on, Caroline Ingles. Don't want any much from Jeremy Bowen. Why are you cheering, Jeremy Bowen? Jeremy Bowen says, "Dear Sussex Friends of Israel, seeing as it is likely that I will be finding myself unemployed shortly, I am hoping that you might consider me for the position of media spokesman for Sussex Friends of Israel. As you will be aware, I am particularly well known for my impartial and unbiased journalism, and have always managed to remain impeccably straight-faced, even when reporting total fabrication. If you need a reference, please contact my colleague John Snow at Channel 4 News, who I am certain will be able to corroborate everything I've purported to say, might say, have said or will say. Wishing you all the luck in the world today and hope to hear from you soon. Shalom, Jeremy the Mensch Bowen. P.S. Still on holiday, but I hope to be back in the UK sometime later this year, all being well." And the last one is from Gerald Kaufman MP. And he just says, "Bar humbug, Gerald." Ladies and gentlemen, I just got a serious message that we want to read to you now. We were really, really delighted to get a message yesterday from His Excellency the Ambassador to the UK from Israel, Daniel Tur, and to all the Australian staff.
Wow! Good afternoon, Brighton! And London! And Essex! This message is from Ambassador Daniel Tur. On behalf of both the Embassy and the State of Israel, I would like to express my warmest greetings and deepest thanks to the Sussex Friends of Israel for your staunch support of Israel, not only during this troubled period, but throughout the year. I know how tirelessly you work for our cause and can assure you that your bravery and moral clarity provides inspiration and hope to all our friends in this country. It is with great sadness that Israel was once again forced to resort to military action to protect her civilians from deliberate attacks by a vicious Islamic enemy committed to the destruction of our state. It is a conflict we sought to avoid and which, for the sake of both Israelis and Palestinians, we hope will now end with a lasting ceasefire. Yet, even if quiet may soon be restored, the campaign by apologists for terror to delegitimize Israel in the court of international public opinion continues. We therefore encourage you to continue to raise your voices to deny the terrorists the political victory they so desperately crave, and to ensure that the people of Britain understand our genuine desire to live peacefully amongst our Palestinian neighbours. With all best wishes, Daniel Tur, Ambassador.
Please, as I said before, there's a shop over there. Guys, piece of One, two. Right, listen. One, two. Ladies and gentlemen, please, just move away from there. Ladies and gentlemen, our first guest speaker this afternoon has actually interrupted a family holiday to be with us here today. So I hope you're going to make him feel very welcome. It's a great man from a great place with a great message. Would you welcome to the stage, please, the Mayor of Brighton, Deborah Beebe.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Before I start, just allow me to stop for a second, if you can hold this, Simon. That was a great one, thank you. Thank you, every single one of you, for taking the time, the courage, the effort to come down all the way to Brighton today. Thank you, Colonel Kemp, for speaking the truth, for sticking out for us, and for not being afraid, and for being an officer and a gentleman. And last but not least, thank you, Sussex Friends of Israel, for organizing this amazing event, which the reason I took a picture from the stage is because you can't see what I can see from here. And you can't feel the warmth in my heart. But once you'll see the picture on Facebook, you'll understand how heartwarming is this picture. I've come to you today from the far Middle East, from the state of Israel, from Judea and Samaria, from Efrat, to hear you say, we support Israel. Do you say that? We support Israel. Israel is there. Where's Simon? Simon, okay. Israel is there, hearing you loud and clear. You know what you're saying? You know what I'm saying?
1, 2.
Israel is there, hearing you loud and clear. One. Okay, let's try again. Efrat was set up 30 years ago. And at least once a week I have a group of foreigners coming to visit Efrat who are surprised, who anticipate to come into a war zone, to see people fighting, to see bloodshed. Yet they see a city, a green city, which is not surrounded by a fence, which has no security measurements around it, which lives peacefully with its Arab surrounding neighbors. The visitors who come are surprised to see the coexistence which they don't see in the local newspaper. Bethlehem, which is only 5 minutes away from Efrat, used to be a city populated with 80% Christians. Today, unfortunately, after the Palestinian Authority took control of the city, there are only 20% Christians in Bethlehem. All the rest run away. The state of Israel has a loud and clear message. We as Jewish people believe in peace. We pray for peace. We want peace. When I was born, my parents were blessed that, please God, by the time I reach 18, I will not have to serve in the army. Unfortunately, as you can all see, I'm a bit over the age of 18. But not only did I have to serve in the army, I had to postpone my visit to the UK because my son, my eldest one, had to take part in the last round in the Gaza battle. Until he got released, I could not leave that country. In the last decade, we've had 2 prime ministers, Ehud Barak and Ehud Olmert. both offering more than 90% of Judea and Samaria in order to achieve peace. The answer received was loud and clear, a two-letter word. It was no! It wasn't said by us, it was said by the Palestinians who are not interested in that peace. The Oslo Accord was an attempt to achieve peace. The founders of the Accord was, let's see what's the most basic element of life. Let's secure that basic element of life for both populations, and let's try and do a peace agreement. The agreement was based on the water supply. Israel promised to supply water to the Palestinians in order for them to have the most basic element of life. Unfortunately, the funds which were collected here in the European community for the Palestinians to build purifying centers, sewage centers, everything that they will have to have that water supply were diverted to private bank accounts somewhere else. In Gaza, we found ourselves with the same situation. Foreign aid, instead of building up the Gaza Strip, instead of turning it into a tourist attraction, they built an underground city with those funds. The nation was split. People were undug from their graves in order not to leave any Jewish trace in the Gaza Strip. The outcome was shown to all of us in the last 2 months. An underground city built from foreign aid in order to attack and cause more bloodshed. No peace was being built there. No hospitals were being built there. No schools were being built there.
Pay attention.
UNRWA, the United Nations organization, which is supposed to look after the refugees, is running a day camp, which the message of that day camp is bloodshed, bloodshed, and bloodshed. It's difficult to draw peace with such people. Yet, we believe that that's our mission in life, to achieve that peace. And if you would have been in Israel in the last few weeks, you would have experienced miraculous times. You would have seen how the nation of Israel is united, almost like in the Six-Day War. No political debate. Everybody is behind the government in order to try and teach the Palestinians the lesson of peace. Unfortunately, surprisingly or not, in more friendly countries like the United States, like in some parts of Britain, that message hasn't been conveyed yet. But there's also hope. I don't know how many of you saw today's Sunday Telegraph, but the Prime Minister of this country, David Cameron, was quoted. "We are a tolerant people, but no tolerance should allow room for this sort of poisonous extremists in our country." If we say, what can we say? We don't want those extremists in our country either. Unfortunately, there are some people here who try to confuse us with the facts. We tell them, don't confuse us with the facts. We know the facts. George Orwell once said, "The further a society drifts from the truth, the more it will hate those who speak it." We speak the truth, that's maybe why we're being hated. Shall I give you an example? Yesterday's Daily Telegraph. There was an article about the most common name in the United Kingdom. Do you know what it is? What is it? No. Go and look it up in yesterday's Daily Telegraph. And the #1 name is Oliver. You know why? I'll tell you why. Because Muhammad can be spelled in a few different ways. So in each different spelling, they counted it differently. But if you add it all together, the truth is that Muhammad is the most common name. If you want to know the truth, if you want to know the facts, it's spelled out there. If you want to look into the spelling, that's a different matter. The majority of the people in the state of Israel want peace. I'll tell you a secret. The majority of the Palestinians want peace. It's a matter of what the leadership says and what the leadership does in order to achieve that peace. The truth needs to be repeated time after time so people will know the facts. I thank you for your support. I trust you in keeping on supporting us. On behalf of the State of Israel, I would like to say thank you, and we trust you. We know we can rely on you, and we want you to carry on being our ambassadors in spreading the truth.
Do you know what a Cyprus is? Do you know how long we've got since to stand together as a community so that we support Israel? Okay, we could have had it in London. Just didn't happen, I'm afraid. But you're here in Brighton, you're all more than welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one that gets me every time. On the 7th of July 1994, Eric Frankenthal, the 19-year-old soldier, hitched a ride from his base to a nearby clinic for a blood test. The guys in the car he boarded appeared to be religious Jews wearing skull caps and speaking impeccable Hebrew. In fact, they were members of a Hamas cell who had set out to kidnap Israeli soldiers. Eric was shot dead in the forehead, in the crackers while still in the car. It gives me great pleasure to welcome to the stage Eric's mother, the apparent maid, Rebecca Bat-Raphael.
Hello everyone.
Rebecca.
Right close up like this.
I've got no diseases, you're all right.
I'm not worried about that. Thank you for coming here today to show your support for peace in the homeland and for all those who reside there. As you may have been told, my name is Rebecca Bat-Raphael Wickler, and I am the mother of Eric Frankenthal, who was tragically kidnapped and murdered 20 years and a day before this present conflict flared up. Eric, who believed fervently in peaceful coexistence, grew up on our farm in the village of Ginzu, in the hills halfway between Tel Aviv and Jerusalem, where I raised geese for many years with the help of 3 Palestinian workers who came to work on our farm from nearby Naalim on the West Bank. Eric grew up knowing Palestinians personally and living together with them. One of them, Husni, actually lived inside our house for 3 years. In those days, the 2 populations were still closely intertwined and working together on a day-to-day basis. Sadly, this state of affairs was severed by the intifadas that followed and the ensuing polarisation on both sides. I was given a copy of the letter that Eric wrote whilst I was sitting in mourning for him, which he'd written to a girl called Iris. I saw that instead of writing about the things that most young people of his age write about, he had a very sharp political discussion with her. Eric was explaining to her how worried he was that when people did not meet and talk, things would soon deteriorate between them. So Eric became active in organisations which sought to create opportunities for Palestinians and Israelis to meet and discuss their positions with each other. After Eric's death, my ex-husband, Yitzhak Frankenthal, Eric's father, despite his pain, very bravely created an organisation, the Israeli and Palestinian Bereaved Families Forum, which arranges meetings between bereaved parents on both sides in the hope of forging a pathway towards reconciliation. It is no easy path, and I myself will never forget the first time that Bassam Aramin, a bereaved Palestinian father who had lost his little girl, took my hand and told me his story. The slogan of our organisation is, "We don't want you here." We don't want any more families to have to bear the grief that we live with every single day. It is all too easy for those people who have never had to pay the true price of conflict to have an opinion. But until you have paid the price of a lack of peace, you do not know what it is all about. My Arik was murdered in retaliation, for a retaliation, and so on ad infinitum since time immemorial, long before the establishment of the State of Israel. Where does this pointless loss of life ever stop? Israel, which is only a tiny country, not even 1.5 times the size of Wales, has no choice except to stay strong. Otherwise, the British Air Force may find itself having to rescue the last of the people of Israel from off of the mountains around Masada. But Israelis and Palestinians have to work hard to open their hearts and leave a little light of hope for peace at the end of their own personal mental tunnels. To this end, the Parents' Circle works to create meetings between young Palestinians and Israelis in Israel so that they can get to know one another and have a dialogue. There is a horrible rhyme doing the rounds at present which begins from the river to the sea. And I am sure that many who chant this do not realise that this would mean the complete annihilation of Israel. So I have created a peaceful version of this verse. And if there is anyone who wishes to take these words and create a song, or to use these words, they have my permission to do so. From the river to the sea, peace is all that there shall be. Palestine and Israel, the two, living together like me and you, with human rights and dignity. That is what I want to see. Thank you for giving your time to listen to me.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Oh.
More hammers, less hammers. They want war, we want peace. It's that simple. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to have a little sing-along with us? Yeah. That's as good as it's going to get. We're all in trouble. Ladies and gentlemen, you'd like to have a sing-along with us? Yeah. We're very pleased today to be able to be joined by the ladies and gentlemen from Yids on Bikes and Jews on Bikes over there. We're going to sing along now. The whole band is going to play. I'm Israel High. We'll start off with that.